all of you. Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Nilima Vasava, Faculty of Nursing, Parul University. As we know, we are organizing a webinar on dissemination of research findings. So for that, let me introduce our today's honorable speaker, Dr. Suresh Kumar Ray, sir. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir is having, now I'm introducing the sir. Sir is having a master degree and PhD qualification in community health nursing. Sir is having a total 70 years of experience in teaching as well as the clinicals. Then some special achievement by Sir. Sir is selected for faculty exchange program with the Moldarian University, Sweden, Pune. Sir has been awarded the Best Nurse Researchers by TNI Association. Sir is also a gold medalist in a Master of Science and the silver medalist in the Bachelor of Science. And Sir is also having a total 22 certificate course in a field of research and education. And next, regarding something publication, so Sir is having a national and international publication among well-known journals, and more than total 3 books have published by Sir, and 13 articles, national, international, and conferences. Sir is also a research guide for UGPG programs, PhD programs, and more than 32 PhD theses evaluated by Sir. And Sir also have been a part of state, regional, national, and international workshop and conferences. And Sir is also having a membership of a TNI, then the NRSI, Sochni, SOMI, and IRC. Now, the Sir is working as an associate professor and HOD of Community Department in Bharatiya Vidyapit College of Nursing, Pune. So we welcome you, sir. Now I hand over the session to sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Nilima, for this humble introduction. And thank you. I would like to thank Paril University and Paril Institute of Nursing for inviting me to take this session on dissemination of research finding. This is one of the important phenomena and topic of discussion, equally and in line with how we select the research problem. And we take the topic very seriously when we selecting the research problem equally. After completion of the research, the dissemination of research findings also has its own importance, because only conducting the research is not going to be give any benefits to the profession unless you disseminate the research findings in an appropriate way, and it should reach to the target audience. And if it is not reaching to the target audience and it is stuck in the library, it's of no use. So when it reaches to the target audience and the findings of the research is being implemented in the hospital setting or in the community setting, then only it becomes useful, and you are adding something new to the body of knowledge of nursing profession. So that's why it has its own importance, and we'll discuss this particular phenomena in today's webinar, and hope you'll enjoy the session and you will learn things out of the presentation. I'm just sharing my slide. Just let me know whether it is shared or not. Hope the slide is visible. Hope the slide is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Visible.
Okay, so we are going ahead with dissemination of research finding, and as you know, as you see the first slide only, people are sitting and discussing that we all should do something for the researchers what we do to disseminate, and it helps the community as well as in turn it helps your profession also. What basically the research dissemination of research finding is, it is not a rocket science, it is not something very different and very difficult to understand. It is basically the research work what you carried out throughout the period of 3 months, 6 months or 1 year. You should ensure that you disseminate your finding to the target audience. It is a planned process that involves consideration of target audience and the setting in which research findings are to be received, and where appropriate, communicating and interacting with wider policy that will facilitate research uptake in decision making. Now this is a comprehensive definition of the research finding, research, dissemination of the research finding. It is important that once you complete your research report, you should disseminate in a scientific way so that it reaches to the targeted audience which you have selected in the particular
Sir, your mic is off.
so that is why dissemination of research finding is important, and it means there are various tools available to disseminate the research findings. Now you can see in the picture and you can understand that there are news channels available through presentations. Also, you can disseminate your finding, policy briefs through internet, through newspapers, through television. So there are modes available, different tools available through which you can disseminate your research finding. Now, how you are supposed to disseminate your research findings and what is important in dissemination of the research finding, what key points you should consider while disseminating the key findings with using these tools, those things are very important. Otherwise your efforts goes into vain, and nothing comes out very productive, and your findings, your efforts will not reach up to the public which you want to reach in time, and the decisions can be taken in time so that policymakers can implement your research findings in their setting. As I said and as I mentioned that there are different tools available. So tools are available in the form of research reports. You can introduce the topic, write the key findings and conclude the topic. And this is one of the example or the picture you can see where you can publish your findings. Then definitely peer reviewed journals are one of the important area through which you can publish your research findings. But only thing you should remember that in which particular journal you should publish your research findings. Now selection of the journal becomes very very important, and that we are going to discuss in the later part of the presentation. When you're selecting the journal and giving your effort of 3 months, 6 months or 1 year to a particular publisher to publish, and while selecting the journal you should consider always that it is reached to the targeted audience which you have selected beforehand. Then there is a press release, one of the important tool of disseminating your research finding, because press people, you can consider them as an audience also, and you can consider them as a tool also, because as an audience when they listen your research findings, they see your research findings, they are the good ones who can publicize your research work within no time. But at the same time you need to be very much careful with their bold statements and bold headlines, and those bold headlines and statements should not should not hide your important findings of your research. Sometime for the publicity and for the TRP purpose, they give the bold headlines which are not relevant, sometime which is not related to your topic also. So those kind of things you need to be careful when you're going to press for your release of research findings. Then definitely you can go for conference presentation, and wherever you get an opportunity, conferences and workshops pertaining to your research or your research field, it is being organized, you can very well register to those conferences, and of course discuss with your findings and disseminate your research findings. Policy brief, I said that it should be short enough, not more than 1500 words, so that this short context of your research the policy makers can see, because they don't have much time to read 3 4 pages or 6 pages of your research article. They read in brief, and if they find it is appropriate, so they can implement those things in their research, in their policy decisions. Definitely, you can publish your research findings with newsletters with appropriate headlines. So this is also one of the tools you can use to publicize your research findings. Now, this becomes very important, dissemination strategies. As a researcher, we should give equal importance to the strategy while selecting the dissemination of your research findings. So there are certain things which you need to know and always consider. Review the past dissemination effort. Now, As a researcher, you might working with different organizations, maybe the hospital or maybe institute or colleges. So always, before giving your research findings to publish for the public or the target audience, you should see what your organization used to do as far as the publicizing of the research finding is concerned. What was their past efforts? What kind of mode they have adopted, what tools they have taken to disseminate the research findings, and what was the public response out of that. And after reviewing all these things, all the past efforts, you select one of the important strategy which will give you maximum response, and at the same time policymakers will be happy to see your research findings and will be happy to disseminate your research findings. Formulate dissemination objective. Now this is very very important. Without objectives you cannot work anything, you cannot do anything. So to work very precisely, the dissemination objective needs to be written down or penned down. Now dissemination objectives can be in the form of what you wish to disseminate, to whom you wish to disseminate, and what is the impact of your dissemination. That needs to be penned down beforehand, so that at the end of your dissemination you can evaluate that as per the objectives you have gone, or the process what you have followed or not. Fine. Determine the audience. Now this is very very important. Being in the nursing profession, you should always want that your audience should be from the nursing profession only, but don't limit yourself to nursing profession only. Nursing professionals can be your primary audience, but try to reach out to your secondary audience also. Now secondary audience are the audience who helps the policy makers, or who can make influence to the nursing personnel to implement your research findings, or the research findings you have generated out of your research. So consider your audience, and accordingly you try to disseminate your research findings. Now if your audience are common people who are residing in the community, so select the mode like newspapers, local newspapers, and try to disseminate your research finding in the local newspaper. Now if you want that, if you are looking for an audience, educated audience, like professionals, so select the tool accordingly and reach up to them. Otherwise your all efforts will not give you the results what exactly you want. So determining the audience is one of the important strategy. Develop a message. Now this is one of the important part of your research finding. If you are publishing in a newspaper, your message should be short. Your message should be short enough, so that, and in a colloquial language, and very simple in words, so that people can appreciate your message, people can see and try to implement the things. And people, the most important thing is that they should understand what you are writing and what you want to disseminate. So if you are disseminating the finding for a common people, it should be in a local language, and it should be very simple in words. Do not use any kind of technical words, and keep it short. For example, I can give you hum do hamare do. It's a common message, everybody understands. What is the meaning of hum do hamare do? Okay, fine. So this sort of message you need to develop when you are disseminating for a common man. Of course, for the professionals, you can pen down the details in your publication, so that they can understand what kind of methodology you have adopted, what kind of samples were there, what tools you have used to collect the data. So those details is necessary for the professionals, but for the common man, the message should be very short. Design or dissemination approaches means there are approaches which are listed down in different publications. Like you start with the approach with publication with one page with all important findings, and later on if you see the response is good. Now for example, you are using a channel of researchgate, you are using a channel of Google Scholar, you are using the channel of other databases, and you are writing an article of one page, and if people are showing interest to that particular article, so you can increase the number of pages in that article. So you can go with the approach of one page, later on you can increase with your approach with two pages, 3 pages, and later on you can go with the complete article also, complete comprehensive article also. So you need to decide, and it depends on your audience. For example, if your audience are of common man, so you can adopt an approach of one page where you can highlight the important findings, and that's it. If your audience are professionals, then you can start with one page with introduction, some key findings and conclusion. Later on, you can disseminate the complete article also. Then you have to decide the disseminating channel. Now, which channel is appropriate for your audience? Now, if I talk about nursing profession, definitely we are increasing on the online things, but yet still seeing the research articles, though it is increasing in this decade. But yes, it will increase in the later part of the time. People mostly in the nursing fraternity wants to read from journals, wants to read from books, which is present in a hard copy. So accordingly, you can decide. You can go with the print version also, you can go with the online version also. Then you can go with newspapers, journals. Then some people too want to hear your findings in conferences, workshop. So with your research findings, your research area, definitely you can use the channel, decide the channel and go with that. Then from your agency, from your organization, you can definitely review the available resources with you and you are comfortable with it. Because sometimes it happens that you are not comfortable with the available resources. You may want to reach up to the public on a larger section, but sometimes the resources are not available, you are not comfortable, and that much amount you cannot spend. So try to find out the agencies or appropriate authorities or resources where you can give your findings and they can publicize your uh, research reports. So that kind of sources you can review. Then evaluate, consider timing and window of opportunity. Now, for example, that you are from community health nursing and you did something in community and you are come up with some kind of report. For example, you did some kind of report with this uh, the epidemic which is currently going on. So always search for an opportunity or a platform where corona things is being discussed, or vaccine is being discussed, the entire epidemic is being discussed. So go to that particular platform, register yourself and try to disseminate. Don't shy and don't fear of anything. See, you did something very systematically. You have all the records, you have all the data. So definitely you can discuss your findings with the people without any fear. And later on you can evaluate your efforts, whether you are satisfied with your effort, whether you have reached to the maximum public, you reach to your own professionals, and what is the response you have got. And accordingly you can make changes in your dissemination strategies. So these are some of the points that you should always consider when you're planning or when you're in the phase of dissemination of your research findings. Then who might you need to disseminate your findings? This is very, very important, to whom you want to disseminate your finding. Now this is particularly and relatively with you only, and you have to decide, and this will depend on your research area also. So primarily you want to disseminate your research findings to the participants, definitely the participants who are involved in the research process. Then you can go up to the consumers, general public. Your findings will help to them. Then other health professionals, if you want to go, like medicos, definitely you can go. Other paramedics, definitely you can go. Then you can go with other academicians, researchers, which will help them to understand the research process, at least the entire methodological part. At least if they are not interested in the research findings, at least they can go with the research methodological part. Then definitely you can reach out up to policymakers, government agencies, funding bodies, which will help you to conduct more researches on that particular topic with the agencies. And the policymakers, definitely with they will come up with some policies if your research methodology is appropriate, if your finding is true. Always consider these questions when you are in a mode of dissemination, or when in a process of dissemination or a phase of dissemination. uh, basically who need to know your finding, who is interested in your finding. That is one of the important questions. Be it a graduate is interested in your findings, PG students are interested in your findings, doctoral students are interested in your findings, staff nurses are interested in your findings, administrators from the hospital side or from the institution sides interested in your finding, or the professionals who are working in the field, they are interested in your findings. So please come, because everything depends on your audience, and accordingly you can make changes in your approaches. Then who will be interested? Establish the size of the audience. Now for example, if you want to restrict your findings up to a district level, a zonal level, regional level, or state level, or national level, or international level, so accordingly you have to decide the tool of the dissemination or the approach of the dissemination. Now if you want that your findings should reach up to everyone across the globe, so you will choose online version. Now if you want that it should be limited up to your college level, you can choose the print version also. If you want to go beyond your district, beyond your state, beyond your nation, online version is always effective. And choose, if you want to go for the journals, so choose the online version of the journals, don't go for the print journal if you want to cover larger section of the society. Then how much do I want to say? That also important. Always mention the effective introduction, key methodological aspects, then key findings, and conclude in a proper way, because conclusion is equally important in line with introduction. So both the things should be written in a proper way, and the length of the article or the length of the publication should not be much lengthy, so that sometime it happens that people start losing interest reading everything. So highlight the key findings and the area of the research. Which journal or publishers, this will discuss in detail in the later part of the presentation, and it needs to be considered for marketing the piece, because if you want to reach out to the largest section, this is one of the important tool that you should consider. And you have to be very careful while considering or selecting the journal, because nowadays it's become a commercial business. Within 2 or 3 days people can come and publish your articles, and but you will not get the citations, people not appreciate your work if you're not selecting a proper journal. What is a house of style? Definitely, whenever you are choosing a publisher, they will give their own presentation of writing an article. So follow that particular presentation mode or writing the article as per the author guideline, and definitely you can publish your research article. How does your writing style needs to be changed? See, when you're writing something, you need to be very much responsible, and you consider your target audience when deciding on document type. As I mentioned earlier also, if your audience are layman, use a colloquial language, simple words. Do not use technical terms which they cannot understand, and you will not get benefited out of that. Yes, if your audience are very much educated, they can understand the technical language, so you can add all technicalities on that. Otherwise, key findings, more of pictures and more of graphs will be more meaningful when you are publishing your research findings. It should be concise enough so that people will not lose interest when reading your article, and it should be to the point. Don't write much which is not relevant to that particular thing, and make yourself concise when you're writing an article or publishing your findings. It should be interesting. How you can make your article interesting? By putting some pictures, using simple words, use some phrases, and then you can use graphs for your presentations, and you can make it very much interesting. And when you're putting the graph for the presentation, it should be colorful. Different findings will be presented in different colors of your research. Highlight key points, so you can use bullet listed, and you can give numbers, because sometimes paragraph won't work. So write in a point, definitely give a meaningful presentation. It should be logical enough. Make sure that point progress in a logical order, like for example introduction, then your methodology, purpose, methodology, results, and conclusion. Follow the IMRD format: introduction, methodology, result, and conclusion. Useful. It should be useful. Clear conclusion and recommendations. If reader knows what to do with the information, they will be more likely to apply it. It should be attractive enough. Spend a small portion of your budget on graphic designing if you want that people should read with interest. Use attractive materials are more likely to be read. That is a common trend. If you go online also, if you find something very attractive, immediately you click on that particular thing and you see what is there. So similarly, you can make your research findings attractive. If possible, print documents in color and distribute to important stakeholders. For example, stakeholders means your students also, your clients also, then staff nurses in the hospital, administrator in the hospital, or if you have approached to certain governmental agencies, or so you can go up to them and give the handouts of your research findings, or you can post the documents. So language and design tips for easy reading and for attractive presentation. It should be simple language, colloquial language for a common man. Then headings needs to be bold enough. Then appropriate font style should be used so that whatever you want to convey, it should be conveyed properly. Then leave space in between so that it will be more clear, and it should not look like very congested. And if it is more than 1 or 2 pages of your research findings, or more than 2 pages, basically you can give page numbers. So these are the certain language and design tips for easy reading. Where to disseminate the research findings? Now, this is one of the important questions that every researcher wants to find out. And the researcher needs to be careful when they are disseminating the research finding and selecting the appropriate channel of disseminating the research. Now you can go to the newspapers, and if you want to cover the larger section of the society, and if you want that common man should also know what you are doing, and other agencies should also know what you are doing in the health field and what progress is going on. So this is one of the important media to go, and you can disseminate your research findings. But be careful with the headlines. Give appropriate headlines and review the headlines before it get published into the newspapers. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Then ResearchGate, I always request everyone, researchers, even the students also, especially the PG students and master student, PG students, doctoral students, they should enroll themselves for the ResearchGate, because it is a platform where all the researchers are coming together and sharing their researches, and conveying the researches, what they are doing, what are the research findings, whether it is being implemented or not. Then you will come to know their research progress also. Then you can see each other researches, you can follow the researches of each other, and definitely it will increase your body of knowledge. So this is one of the important platform. You all should register. It needs an official email ID to register, because normal with Google Mail you cannot register. So official and institutional email ID is required to register in ResearchGate. Similarly, you can register yourself in Google Scholar also, and you can publicize your research finding in Google Scholar. Though we say that Google Scholar is not very much considering the quality facts, and gives you citations also, but this is one of the important media where you can publish your research findings, or upload your research papers, and definitely you can get citations out of that. And people do read from the research scholar database also. So this is one of the common platform where you can disseminate your research findings. Then you can go for the databases which comes under Thomson Reuters. Now this is one of the important agency which gives you actual impact factor of the journal. Thomson Reuters, the legal agency, and journals covered under this particular databases, it's of high quality, and people do prefer to read from these databases. So if you follow the guidelines of publishing the article in this particular database, it is preferably all the time good if you go with such kind of databases, because it gives you quality, and it gives you a platform where you can reach up to the professionals who are thoroughly professionals, and researchers who are not doing research just to conduct the research, but at the same time they are always in a position and they are always in a process to implement the findings in a practical settings. Then you can go for Scopus, you can go for Web of Science, you can go for Indian Citation Index databases. Then you can go with the journals who are listed in UGC approved journal list. So the Indian Citation Index you can go. Then definitely you can go for Shodh Ganga. Nowadays, it's a common platform where all the Indian universities are attached and they are sharing the research data with everyone across the nation. So it's a library networks, and you can disseminate the findings in this particular platform also. Delnet is also available with all the institutions nowadays. It is also a library network where you can upload your thesis or upload your research work, and across the world, people can see your research work, or across the nation, people can see your research work. And if you provide all the details, definitely, if they have any kind of doubt or query or any kind of permission they need, they'll approach you accordingly. Then, of course, conference, workshop, and presentations you can do. Then what should you look for in journals while disseminating your research findings? This is one of the important thing that everyone should listen carefully and see carefully. uh, what kind of journals you should select. Now you might have experienced, you must have seen that nowadays it is very easy to publish the article. Within no time you can publish the article in a journal, and especially in a journal which is peer reviewed only and not indexed in global databases or quality databases. So for the publisher, it is very easy. They can ask some money from you in terms of 1000, and within one day or two, they can publish your research articles. Fine. So be careful for the predatory journals also, because people don't go for the predatory journals. They don't see the predatory journals, and they don't see the article which are published in the predatory journal, and ultimately you don't get citations, you don't get appreciation of your research work. So we'll discuss in detail this particular part, because this is one of the important thing or the platform for professional like us, especially in nursing also, to publish your research findings in appropriate journal. So while selecting the journals, what all things you are supposed to see? The journal should have international serial standard number. The journal should be registered and get this number. It can be a print ISSN number, or it can be a EISSN number. I always prefer and tell students to go for the journal which has EISSN number, electronic version of the journal. Why? Because more number of people can see your article which is published with electronic version. With print version, I'm not saying that you cannot go for the print version. You can go for the print version, but your audience will be very limited. Means the only audience we can see your article if they have subscribed that particular journal. If they have not subscribed that particular journal, print journal, it will not reach up to the audience. So always go for the electronic version. That is what the second point is. Prefer online index journals, open access journals, so that it can reach up to maximum number of people. Always have to have a digital object identifier number, DOI number. Now this number helps the audience to search your article or search the author quickly, and it becomes very much accessible if the journal has or the article has DOI number. It should be indexed in global databases, as I mentioned before also. Global databases means you can go for Web of Science, you can go for Scopus, you can go for Indian Citation Index, you can go for Google Scholar. So or you can go for the journals which are listed under UGC approved journals, and timely you should see the updation of the journal. It is not like that in 2010, if the journal was indexed in Scopus or Web of Science, it will be there in 2020 also. Every year the list changes. Even in UGC journal also after 2016, as per the UGC guideline, it is for the for any of the researcher, it is mandatory to publish their journals which is approved by UGC, and every year the list is updated. They updating the list every year, so you should be very careful while selecting the journal with the scopus, with Web of Science, and see, go to the scopus site, go to the Web of Science site, and search with title, search with ISSN number, and see whether currently that particular journal is updated in the scopus or not, currently that journal is there in Web of Science or not, Indian Citation Index. So all those things you need to see before going for any kind of publication with the journals. And always with go for impact factor given by JCR. Now JCR is a legal agency of Thomson Reuters, and actually across the world this is the only agency which gives impact factor for the journal. Now you might have seen many journals writing on the top impact factor, and in the form of RJIF, in the form of SJIR, in the form of other thing. There are many terminologies they have developed over the years, and they write on the journals. They are indexed in this particular databases. Impact factor is 5, impact factor is 6, impact factor is 9, 10. Always ensure that whether this impact factor is given by JCR or the body of Thomson Reuters. If it is given by JCR, I know it is not easy to search and go for the journal where the impact factor is given by JCR, and we have the pressure of publishing the article from the university point of view also, from the college point of view also, and you have limited time duration. You have to publish 2 articles minimum in a year, and if you go with Thomson Reuters, if you go with JCR, it takes too much of time to publish your article, and sometimes it becomes very costly affair also to publish. But if you want that your dissemination of the research finding should be of quality, so you always go with that. At least you go with Thomson Reuters, or you can go with the journals which are uh, indexed in databases like PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science, University listed journal, UGC listed journal. So you can give justice to your research work, or you can give provide justice to your organization or your university. It should be discipline specific. Nowadays a trend is going on because you have the pressure of publishing an article in a year, 2 articles or 3 article, and it is required for the post also, it is required for the promotion also. And more or less your HODs, your principals or university authorities giving constantly telling you publish article, publish article. So what you do, you go for the multidisciplinary journals, easy to access, easy to publish the article. Within no time you can publish the article, you pay some amount, and your article is published within a week time or within 3 days also. So be careful while selecting the journals. For example, you are nursing personnel, select the nursing journals, or select a multidisciplinary journals where maximum number of nursing journals are articles are published, and then only. Otherwise it's of no use. Now you are publishing, but you are the readers are not there, audience is not there, and you are not get the citation out of that. So what is the meaning of citation? The meaning of citation is you are publishing your research finding online, so your reader and your audience read your entire article, and the reader is impressed with your article, and reader is convinced with your article, yes, it is of use to my research. So they give reference to your research article in their own research, and later on they publish that particular research online. So once it is published online, you will get a citation. If the reader is reading only and not putting a reference in their own research and not publishing online, so it's of no use. It is just for the understanding. Yes, it's of no use means it is just for the understanding. But that particular audience does not want to put your reference, because that audience also feel that the article is good, but the journal what the researcher has selected, it's not appropriate journal. And sometime the researcher do have some fear of giving such journal reference in their own article, because it gives impact on your citations, it gives impact number of people are reading your article. So always see the discipline specific journals. Now, I have just put to see these ISSN number to understand what is the ISSN number and how it is written on the top of the page of the journal. So, if the journal has ISSN number, whether it is print ISSN or electronic ISSN, please go with that journal. Don't go with the journals which does not have any kind of ISSN number or in the process of getting the ISSN number. Open access journal, go for the open access journal. Online journal, EISSN number is given, so you will get the maximum readers and you will get citations out of it. Some of the important databases which you choose while disseminating your research findings, it can be Scopus, Embase, PubMed, Science Citation Indexed, Biosis, DOSE, Ovid, EBSCO. These are some high profile databases or quality databases where you find quality articles, quality journals where they have follow all the appropriate steps in publication of an article. And they are their panel of reviewers who review the article. They see the article is systematically written or not, followed all the scientific steps or not, whether the article is passed by the institutional ethical committee or not. Everything is seen critically, and then only they give permission to permit in particular journal. That's why it takes time. Normally, the publishers who publish your article in 2 days, 3 days of time, their panel doesn't see anything. They don't go for ethical review also, and they don't see whether it is passed by your institutional ethical committee or not. Basically, they are in business for money, and they will publish your article. In turn, you will be very happy that you have published an article in a journal which is peer reviewed. But dear friends, you will not get the readers, appropriate readers, and you will not get the citations also if you are just choosing the peer reviewed journals which doesn't have any kind of scientific base of selecting the article and publishing the articles, and they are just running their business for money. See, I have given you an example of International Journal of Recent Scientific Research. Now you can see the Thomson Reuters agency has given the particular ID. Now, if you find such journals where Thomson Reuters agency has given the ID number, definitely you can go with that journal, because this is one of the legal agency across the globe, across the world, which gives citation factor. JCR gives the citation factor for Thomson Reuters. So such journals is always good for publishing your research findings.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, my presentation is visible.
Now it is visible, sir.
Okay, there is a technical issue. Now it is visible, sir, madam.
Yes. Visible, sir. Sir is left.
Yeah, it is visible now.
Uh, so can you share the screen?
Yeah, I've shared.
Slide is not visible.
Now it is visible, ma'am.
Yes. Now it is visible, sir.
Hello. Okay. Okay, so it's a Thomson Reuters is a legal agency. Thomson Reuters Corporation is a
Yes, sir. Sir,
multinational
visible.
mass media.
Slide is visible.
Yeah. Yeah, is a multinational mass media and information firm, provides professional with intelligence, technology, and human expertise. They need to find trusted answers. So this is one of the legal agency that you could always look for when you want to publish your journal, publish your article in journal. And this is a legal body, Journal Citation Report. Journal Citation Report offers a systematic, objective means to critically evaluate the world leading journals with quantifiable statistical information based on citation data. Now, see, the JCR has given the journal rankings. This is one of the example I put forth. The other sources where you can disseminate your research findings are magazines, newsletters, I have already mentioned, discipline specific organizations. In stakeholders meet, so always in a search of conferences and workshop or seminars which is related to your particular topic, your research field. And then you go and go to that particular setting and register yourself, and without any fear, without any shy, you can disseminate your research finding because you have conducted a research, you have followed the appropriate methodology, and there is no harm in disseminating the research work. And alumni meet also one of the platform where you can disseminate your research work. There are benefits of disseminating the research work. Personal basis, it initiate change. Then it will search, it will help in searching the meaning of what you are doing. It will help you to understand. Then it will help you to understand the relationship. It will help you to understand the theories, discovering new things. It will boost up your self-esteem, and it can be a part of your research study or a specialized research area. For organization point of view, it will be a tool for planning for change and innovation. It will help in making the policy, and they will implement the policy in hospital setting, basically for nursing personals, in community setting, industrial setting. It's a knowledge based approach. Obviously it will enhance the body of knowledge. uh, it will encourage the evaluative culture in your organization, because researches are, problem solving approach. It will always evaluate, it will always evaluate the work what you do, and it can only happen with the research work. And then reacting to the public opinion, it will helpful for the organization. Delivering measurable results, it will help in audit. It is always help you to implement the strategies which is cost effective, and it will give you a platform of evidence based practice. So ideally, communicating and disseminating research findings draws people into arguments, explorations, discussions, and relationship that add depth, meaning, and value to the content. So use the web to tell a story, not just a delivery medium. So that means that whatever the research work, what you do, or the efforts you have put in conducting the research, don't keep it in a library. Bring it to the public platform, discuss with the public. Sometime it might happen that you will be criticized, or you will be told that it is the steps are not followed appropriately, but it will boost of your self esteem, and next time when you conduct your research, you will follow all the scientific steps, and you will come up with the new innovations, new finding. And definitely it will help to the organization, especially in our case the hospital, for the patient care. This is one of the important site that you always go for before going for the publication, for predatory publishers or predatory journals. So it is a predatoryjournals.com. If you go to the internet site, put this particular link, and you will find the list of predatory journals, alphabetically wise, and you will find the metrics also, the different citations agency, metrics of different citation agency, what I was telling about, RJIF, or CSIR, or other journal citations agencies which they give, and you will find the metrics, how much they are creating a base where they are passing on the false information to the readers. Now see this particular stats which was published in 2018 and given by Journal of Informatics. It is what they have given, India is heading the list. India is heading the list in case of predatory journals. Means 488 predatory journals are there in India where people are publishing their article. Fine. After that, USA, Turkey, UK, Pakistan, UAE, Iran, Romania, Canada, Australia, and others. But India is heading the list, where maximum of our researchers are publishing the journals in predatory journals, because they want the publication within no time, and they shed off some money and they publish their article, which actually of no use, because it is not reaching up to the quality people, it is not reaching up to the public, and in turn they will not get any kind of citations. So basically, it's a wastage of effort where what you have put in for 3 months, 6 months, and in a year. And sometimes you, for doctoral students, you put many years to conduct the research work. Predatory fake journals are located in 52 countries. It is not located in India only, 52 countries, where the highest number of researchers from India, Nigeria, and Turkey published in predatory fake journals. Researchers from 146 country got their article published in PFJs. In Turkey, incentive, allow system, unawareness, promoted academics are a factor that encourages researchers to publish in PFJ, because we have the pressure from the university side, institution side. You need published article under your belt for promotion going ahead. So these all things pressurize you to publish in PFJs. But in long run, it is not going to help, because once it is evaluated or it is being critically acknowledged, then these kind of publication won't help you in future. This is a references and for further information. So this is all about my presentation. The forum is open for discussion. If they want to discuss any questions, if they want to have any kind of clarifications.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir, it is the wonderful session. Now the session for the questioning, it's open.
And feel free to ask questions on this
Now the
particular area.
participant can
Because
answer the question to sir.
I'm happy
Yes,
to have more questions.
Mr. Praful has asked about the how to identify about the predatory generals, but I think we covered, sir.
I have shown in the slide. Yeah, I have shown in the slide. Go to the predatorjournal.com and you will get the list of all predatory journals in
How
that.
to identify
And
the
it is up.
predatory generals.
Yes, yes. And it is updating. The list is updating every year.
One more question, sir. Sir, if in scientific paper presentation, three author is there.
Yeah.
Okay, so one author is already published, or already article is published, or
Hmm.
the presented. So another two can present it same
You can present your
in another places.
places until yeah.
Okay,
You
so
can
one author can
present your yeah.
present
Nahi, I'm giving you the answer. You can present
like
your findings in. Hello, hello, my voice. Yeah, yeah. I understood your question. Can I give the answer of that? Hello, am I audible? Hello, hello. Are you getting my voice?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is getting. I lost my connection. That's why, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine, fine.
So the answer of this
Yes,
particular
sir.
question is you can, yeah, you can present your findings in multiple conferences until and unless the conference is registered and got the ISSN number. It's a registered conference. If the conference is registered and if you want to present the article in another conference, then you need to take the permission from previous conference authorities that I am going to present the article in another conference. If they permit you, definitely you can present, otherwise not. Similarly, if you have published your article in one particular journal and if you want to publish in another journal with different name, it is not possible until unless the previous journal authorities will give you the permission to publish with another journal.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. So thank you so much on the behalf of Parle University. We have
It's my
a
pleasure.
clear about uh, how to questioning and considering about the different section of generals and all. So thank you so much for the precious time, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I thank sincere thank to Parel University authorities and Parel Institute of Nursing for inviting me and organizing such a wonderful seminar. Thank you very much. Stay safe and stay
Thank you.
healthy. God bless you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So may I take your leave?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.